Welcome back to Guitar Theory Modules. This is Module 2, and we're on pages 13 and 14. In Module 1, we reviewed the notes on the fretboard, and feel free to refer to that module as often as you need to. In this module, you're going to learn about half steps and whole steps, how to play them on the guitar, and how to write them in standard notation. We're looking at page 13, half steps and whole steps. In most Western music, a half step is the closest two notes can be to each other. And on the guitar, a half step is just a distance of 1 fret. To play half steps on the same string, you just move 1 fret lower or higher. To play half steps moving from one string to the next, you're going to have to count some frets. So a half step between the first and second string is 4 frets apart. And a half step between strings 2 and 3 is 3 frets apart. A half step between the third and fourth strings is 4 frets apart. Half step between strings 4 and 5 is also 4 frets distance. And a half step between strings 5 and 6 is 4 frets. You probably noticed that those half steps are 4 frets distance between the strings except for strings 2 and 3, and that's just because of the way the guitar is tuned, and that's just something that guitarists have to take into account. Now let's look at the whole steps at the bottom of page 13. If a half step is 1 fret away, a whole step is going to be 2 frets away. We'll often just call these steps, so if I say whole step or step, it's the same thing. To play whole steps on the same string, you just move 2 frets higher or lower from the original note. And here's how you can play whole steps moving from one string to the next. To play a whole step between strings 1 and 2, it's 3 frets distance. A whole step between strings 2 and 3 is 2 frets distance, and again, that's because of the way the guitar is tuned. All the others are going to be 3 frets distance. So whole step between 3rd and 4th strings, 3 frets. Whole step between 4th and 5th strings, 3 frets away. And a whole step between strings 5 and 6 is 3 frets away. Here's a good way to start learning how to navigate the fretboard. Pick any note. I'm just going to play a C on the 5th fret, 3rd string. Find a half step above that note on the same string and on another string, and then find a half step below that note and on another string as well. And name the notes as you play them, especially if you're still learning the fretboard. So a half step above a C could be a C sharp or a D flat. I'm just going to call it a D flat. So you'd say C, D flat, C, D flat, and same when you cross the strings, C, D flat, C, D flat, and then C, B for a half step down, and then across the strings, C, B, B, and then do the same thing with your whole steps. So a whole step above a C is a D, so C, D, C, D, C, D, C, D. Whole step below a C, a B flat, C, B flat, C, B flat, C, B flat, C, B flat. This kind of work can be tedious, but it's also very useful. Most of the melodies you play are going to move in half steps and whole steps, so if you know how to navigate the fretboard in half steps and whole steps, it's going to help you learn how to play melodies faster, and it's also going to help you when you start learning how to improvise. On page 14, we have 2 written exercises. Throughout these modules, we'll have playing exercises and written exercises. It's important to have the playing exercises so you can actually apply it to your guitar playing, but it's also important to have the written exercises so you can start to recognize what you're seeing on the page. We learned the notes on the fretboard in Module 1, and feel free to refer to that module as often as needed. You might find yourself flipping back to that module often in the beginning stages, and as you work through these modules, you'll probably have to refer to it less and less. At the top of page 14, we have a written half-step exercise. You're given a series of notes, and for each note, write either a half step above or below, depending on the instruction. Once you've written those notes, find different places to play each pair of notes on the fretboard, and play those notes on the same string and also play them on different strings. You're going to need something to write on, and I have some free manuscript paper you can download from my website. I will put a link for that in the description. If you've purchased my book, Guitar Theory Modules, the answers for this exercise are on page 210, but we're also going to go over the answers right now. So pause the video, download that manuscript paper if you need to, and get to work. And when you're ready, start the video up again and check your answers. Number 1, we have a written C, and a half step above, you could call that a D flat or a C sharp. And make sure you play these as well in different places. So C you can play at the 1st fret on the 2nd string, and that D flat or C sharp, I'll call it a C sharp. You could play at the 2nd fret, but make sure you play it here as well. And here. And here. And here. Now, I'm not going to do that with every single one of these, otherwise this is going to be a really long video, but make sure you do that on your own. Number 2, we have a written G flat. A half step below that G flat is an F. Number 3, we have a written D. A half step above that D could be an E flat, or you could call it a D sharp. Number 4, we have a B. Half step above that B is a C. Number 5, we have a B flat. A half step below that B flat is an A. Number 6, we have another D. A half step below that D is a C sharp or D flat. So here's my D, here's a C sharp or D flat. Number 7, we have an A sharp. Half step above that A sharp is a B. Number 8, we have an F. Half step below that F is a low E, which would be your open 6th string. Number 9, we have an A flat. Half step below that A flat is a G. Number 10, you're given an A. Half step above that A is a B flat or A sharp, whatever you want to call it. Number 11 is a C sharp. Half step above that C sharp is a D. And number 12, you're given a C. Half step below that C is B. Now let's look at the whole step exercise at the bottom of page 14. You'll do the same thing you did with the half step exercise, except you're going to be writing whole steps. So write those whole steps and then figure out how to play your answers in as many places on the neck as you can find. And play those whole steps on the same string and across strings. The answers for this are also on page 210 in the back of Guitar Theory modules. So if you have the book, you can go ahead and write your answers in and check the back. And then we're going to go over the answers right now in this video. So as before, pause the video, download that manuscript paper if you need it, fill in your answers, and then fire it up again and see how you did. So let's go over the answers for the whole step exercise at the bottom of page 14. We start off with a C, a step above, or a whole step. Remember, whole step, step, same thing. Step above is a D, and make sure you're finding as many places as possible to play those. So C and D, C and D, C and D, C and D, C and D. And again, I'm not going to play all of those, otherwise this would be a marathon. But please practice finding those notes on your own. Number 2, you're given an F sharp. Whole step below an F sharp is an E. Number 3, you're given a D. A step above a D is an E. Number 4, you're given a B. Step above a B is a C sharp. Number 5, you're given a B flat. Step below that B flat is an A flat. Number 6, you're given a D. Step below a D is a C. Number 7, you're given a B flat. Whole step above a B flat is in a C. Number 8, you're given a low F sharp. A step below that low F sharp is the low E. Number 9, you're given a low A flat. Whole step below that A flat is a low G flat. Number 10, you're given an A. A whole step above that A is a B. Number 11, you're given a C sharp. A step above that C sharp is a D sharp. And then in number 12, you're given a C. And then a step below, or a whole step below that C, is a B flat. And now that you've learned about half steps and whole steps, look for them in the music you play. It's very important that you work through these modules slowly. Some of these concepts you'll get right away, and some of them may take a little while to sink in. Each module builds on the previous one, so you really do need to understand each one before you move to the next. And if you feel like you need some more work, quiz yourself. Repetition is your friend. You can work through all these videos without my book, but if you do order my book, Guitar Theory Modules, you'll have all this information in one place, so I'll leave a link in the description. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and when you're ready, I will see you in Module 3, where we're going to use half steps and whole steps to play major scales.